Lana Quest, how do you do?
Hi.
It's
It's
Lana and I were
darker in
talking.
here.
Yeah,
Oh.
Lana and I were talking on the phone prior to this, and we were just chatting away. And I was like, "Hey, I was gonna do a little show." She's like, "I was thinking about doing the same." So we're like, "Let's just hop on
Yeah.
and chat this over with everybody, so we can kind of get all of our thoughts and feelings out. There's 1,000 different things going on, so we were trying to settle it all. Lana was crushing my soul a little bit when she was.
No
No,
way.
she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was. You were making definitely a lot of sense, and you know, we were talking about Joe Biden and his situation on everything that's going on, and whether or not he should stay in the race. That's one thing that we were talking about. Obviously, we're going to talk about the RNC a little bit too. I'm proud to say that live, I watched a total of 0 seconds of that garbage. Did you watch it?
No, not only the clip. Well,
Yeah, I mean, the clips I saw, I'm talking about live. Did you watch any of it live?
yeah, just a little advance.
Yeah,
Very little.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
No,
it was
I'll
just
just
like,
say no. I'll just say no. Not enough.
yeah, as I say, what was even the point? Because
Yeah.
A, we were going to see enough clips, and B, it just, I don't need any more, because just watching them talk and hearing their voices just just gets me. It just gets you so frustrated that I just don't. It's not even worth sitting through hours of that, much less minutes.
Correct.
But
Correct.
anyway, we were talking about everything that was going on with Joe Biden. Since the debate, obviously, there's been a lot of talk that he should step aside. He did some events. Everything felt like, all right, maybe he's making a bit of a turnaround and he's shutting up his detractors. But it just turns out that the detractors are getting louder and louder. We thought that after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, that maybe all the talk would go away of Joe Biden stepping down, but that
Hmm.
obviously has not happened. In fact, I think I just saw Sherrod Brown,
Yep.
the senator of Ohio, just came out with a statement asking
Yep.
him to step down. John Tester, two senators that are in very, very close races. And it is, obvious that they're asking him to step down because they feel he is hurting them on their ticket.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine, Lana, that these guys are not doing it because out of spite or anything. I think they're
Exactly.
probably doing it in a strategic move based on some of the internal polling that they have seen.
Right.
And it's probably not an easy decision for them to do. But this is what Lana and I were talking about a little bit. Lana, you want to share your thoughts on what you were telling me earlier? Because before I was talking to Lana, and I'm
No,
going to let you get to your thoughts. But
no,
before I
go
was
ahead.
talking to, I mean, I was telling her, I was like, I was having these like illusions, I guess, at this point in my head
Right.
that Biden is just going to ignore this. He's going to overcome the storm, and we are going to see one of the greatest comeback stories and feel good stories in the history of this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was just going to be raising his hands at the end, and we were all going to feel, I mean, a sense of pride and goodness that I think not all people, obviously the Trump people wouldn't feel this, but the same kind of pride we felt like right after 9/11. Everybody just had this pride and just happiness, and not
Yeah.
happiness, but they just had this, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, you want to share your thoughts on what you were telling
Yeah. I don't think we can come back from this. Like, I was having the same thoughts. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Biden too. Like, I was like, stick with it.
me?
These people, I can't believe we're having this fight. They're disloyal. All of those thoughts until yesterday. And I'm just like, oh, 10 in one day. And then today, someone mentioned the word intervention. And then it made me think about how we had to do an intervention on my uncle who has a
Mm-hmm.
horrific drug
Mm-hmm.
problem. Like, I haven't seen him in years. Like,
Yeah.
but that's kind of what has been happening, because it's not like, Nancy Pelosi, everyone's like hating her and Hakeem Jeffries, but it's like these people called Biden. They talked to him already and said, hey, this is what's coming down the pike, right? I don't know if she said it like that, but she had to because they're friends and they love him.
Yeah.
So they're not being disloyal, like we're going to stab you in the back.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like the elites, like AOC is saying, doesn't want the Biden Kamala ticket. I don't think any of that's happening. In PS, AOC just got here, so I like her, but come on, right? Like
I mean, didn't she just did a whole hour video defending Biden?
Right, and I appreciate that. Like I was shocked that the squad was, but what bothers me is that now we already have these people who see a problem. They see, like you said it, they see something we're not getting it. We're not seeing. I don't tell a doctor how to do a surgeon how to do a surgery, right?
Yeah.
This is what they do. This is what, Pelosi does, what Jeffries does. Like, this is what they do. So who are we to be like, right? Like, so I think they're seeing something. And like I said, up until like yesterday and today, when they start talking about, have they really been disloyal to Biden, or have they been super respectful? Because they didn't want him to run again. They wanted someone else in the beginning. But because they love and respect him, that's why no one ran again. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they didn't bring any of this up before. They're like, we're sticking by, it's our guy. But after they saw that debate, they're like, maybe this is not our guy, because now with this debate, he has lost a step. Trump is weak as fuck.
Right.
Weak as fuck, right?
Yes.
But the same kind of weak, right? He's not like any weaker. He's just the weak guy that he was before, unless you think.
I don't know, but is he? I think he is weaker, to be honest with you. I think he has always been a weak candidate because he has no policy, but I also don't feel like his head and his brain is in this as much as it was.
But you don't see, and that's the bigger point. You don't see that when you have Biden. Compared to Biden, Trump is the same. Biden is the one that's losing.
Right. Oh, very good point.
Right. He's already, and because it's still close with fucking Trump being who Trump is, why are we this close? We can understand that it was close when Trump was the incumbent and Biden won, right? Like Biden won that.
Right.
And he can boast on that, but we also know why he won that, right? He won that one because it was the pandemic. Trump was just awful. Everyone could vote from home. It was just easier. So the dynamics were so different then. Yeah. These dynamics are a whole different set of dynamics. Biden's a little slower. So he's got to go extra hard. So
and he can't.
And he cannot go, he can't do that extra. And he's a great guy. And I wish it wasn't here because I wanted him to go on. But if we're this close with a Trump, that's crazy. Kamala could come in and you know how you play Mortal Kombat and it's like, finish him.
Right.
Jiu-jitsu. Like he's done. She'll fuck that dude up so fast. Biden's gonna come in like, back to the same kind of thing where the surrogates and Kamala and everyone has to work so hard because Biden can't do it with precision. Trump can just talk past him, blah, 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 blah. Biden to get in a couple of words, and it's not Biden's fault. It doesn't make him a bad guy. It just none of it does. But I think ushering in Kamala, because it's got to be Kamala, will bring us energy, which we need, because we're hit so bad right now that we need that energy.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about earlier when Lana and I were talking on the phone, where my soul was crushed a little bit. And it's not something that she was doing maliciously, but she was making sense. And I told her, I said, I was thinking about doing a show tonight, And I had some things lined up, and it was kind of be like, why are we still bashing Biden? Why are we not moving forward? But after everything you say, it does. I mean, it certainly does make sense. Now, personally, there is still part of me that I do want to see it. I do want to see it. And again, I still believe, and this may be very naive, and I could look back at this if it does happen and go, gosh, you were way wrong. But there's still a part of me, a large part of me, that believes that if Biden stays in this race, he wins. I just feel that, because we're not talking about a popularity contest here. We're talking about the difference between two completely different Americas. And I think most people, when you hear them say it, they're like, I don't want Biden. I don't want Biden. Oh, he's going to be the nominee. Oh, I will still do everything. I make sure he wins. So, but you make a point too. Do we need an energy against a guy who, is seeming like he's lacking the energy that he had before, and is a completely beatable candidate? Now, the one thing, Lana, that really makes no bit of difference about what I'm going to say, because it doesn't really matter, because this is not going to change anything, but there is a responsibility on the American people to understand what the fuck they're voting for. And the fact that you're saying, well, this is close and it's concerning. My concern is more with the people who are going, I don't fucking know. What should I do? Like, what the fuck are you talking? This isn't even like this isn't a discussion. This is the difference between saving possibly your baby daughter and not it's mind blowing to me. And I also am really extra pissed now at the media, because I want to ask you, Lana, for years, I mean, I've already told you I'm not a fan of cable news. I haven't watched it for years. But for years, we heard Donald Trump and MAGA say fake news and rag on the media constantly. Now, it seems like it's sort of flipped. It seems like the left is going, you fucking assholes, you people suck. And I know there's a difference. I know there's a difference between what Trump was saying about the media and what we're saying about the media, even though a MAGA person could be watching this and going, oh, God, you guys are bad. There is a clear difference between what Trump was saying and what we're saying now. But the media now, they're not necessarily lying like Trump would say. What they're doing, though, is they are trying to make a news story out of everything so people watch and they can make money. Damn the fucking future of the country. And that really irritates me.
Agreed. But I think that's why, unfortunately, we need a new candidate. So people tune in. They're not tuning in to. They're not. I don't know. I want Biden, but I don't want him anymore. Like, that's just it. Up until, what is today? Friday, Wednesday.
Maybe even yesterday. Let's call it yesterday.
Right. Yeah. Wednesday, I was good with it.
Right.
Yesterday, I'm like, we
gotta move
come back from this. Like, I don't want him to try, because the fracture has been made. He's already weak. Now he's got an open gushing wound. Now he's got COVID. Like, how do you come back? Because it's not even like, okay, I'm coming back, and it's like the voters, right? I need y'all to come back. You're talking about your party. So at some point, you have to do what's good for your party, so your party can do what's good for your voters. So as a leader, a good leader knows when to step aside so that his party can pull it together. And sometimes, if it's the wrong decision, it's just like with your kids. You know what? I can't walk you through this. Maybe you know something I don't know. Spread your wings. And it's like, I know that there's a threat over here, and you don't want to just be doing that. But we're not going to hand it off to like any Joe Schmo either. Yeah. If it's Kamala, which has got to be, that's an extension of him. So I don't know what the fight is, but what's happening right now, and this is the dangerous part, and this is why he needs to do this fucking ASAP, is that now you have Democrats literally combative towards one another. You're disloyal. You're this. You got AOC doing over an hour call saying it's the Democratic elites are trying to get him out because Kamala is black. Like, now that's what's taken off, right? They just want to get rid of Biden and Kamala to bring in their own. I don't think Nancy Pelosi would ever. Oh, Hakeem Jeffries? Like, they're not Clyburn? Like, what? Excuse you?
No, I don't think so either. I think,
what's happening on Twitter, right? Are you seeing that? Like, Democrats, I just had someone in my group literally say, voice your opposition to a new Democrat. And I had to say, no, I am not going to retweet you or tell any member of this group to do that, because we cannot do that. But that's where we're going. And I'm like, this is that's why he's got to go. It's not his doing. It never was. But we're going to get to a point where we can't put it together. We'll have a DNC convention that's worse than Trump's, because no one's going to trust each other. No one's going to genuinely be excited for Biden. They're going to be sitting there like they're not. He can't, and he cannot galvanize. Biden can't galvanize. We galvanize. Let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah. We galvanize around Biden ourselves. We bring the electricity because he's a great fucking guy.
Yeah.
And doing fucking amazing things. So that's what galvanizes us. But now that's lost, because even with all those great things, we're kind of behind. We're fighting each other. So we need a galvanizing figure in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking to think, because Joe Biden, first of all, forget about that he's a great guy. Let's say he's a terrible guy, but he still has the record that he had for this country.
Absolutely.
Hold on one second. Steffi.
Huh? Is that the cat or the dog? I saw the cat.
That's my dog, and she's got something of plastic that is freaking me out. But anyway, no, I mean, he is a great guy, but let's say he's not a great guy. The record that he can run on, and again, I always like to think about the perfect world, but God, we are as far from the perfect world as we can possibly get. Yeah. And you would just think you want everybody to just be in tune on what's going on, but they're sadly not. I mean, we're watching an RNC convention where Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan and Dana White are the feature speakers. I mean, it's just we're getting to a point where it's turning into a reality show instead of reality. And that is the biggest fucking problem that we're having. But I did have some clips that I want to play. They're not as prevalent now after the conversation we have, but one of them is, I mean, this is a report today that they had on MSNBC about Joe Biden and what he said that his future plans are.
Brian, that I want to get to regarding President Biden, and this is a statement that's just out, coming over the Reuters wires for us. Biden says he looks forward to getting back on the campaign trail next week, and he says Donald Trump's dark vision is not who we are as Americans. It's not much of a statement, but it is notable because, again, there are increasing calls for him to drop out of the race, including a number of lawmakers today, 5 congressmen, lawmakers, and 1 senator at least.
Yeah, you know what I hate about this? I hate how much they love this. I do. I hate how much they love this. And that just really irritates the shit out of me. I was also reading a report today that my personal childhood hero that I grew up thinking was the greatest person in the world was David Letterman, and he is holding a big fundraiser for Joe Biden in Hawaii at the governor's mansion, I think, there next week for Joe Biden in fundraising. So there appears to be still this idea that Joe Biden will be on the campaign trail, and he still will be there. And I think Lana and I have said a million times, we don't give a flying fuck who is at the top of that ticket, whoever it is.
I just want it to happen. I just want it to happen. Like, that's why he has to go. because it needs to stop. Like, that's what's
Yeah.
making me upset about it. Like, honestly, just fucking step away, because they're not going to stop coming out, because the seal is broken, and they're going to keep doing it, and more. One from the Congressional Black Caucus, one from the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. There's more.
I think even Jim Clyburn was sort of open to, and if you've lost him, that's a problem.
There's more. So he can't go into next week and saying, I'm still here, when it's still going to be more bleeding. Trump's going to be a fool. And we're not fucking talking about Trump and his goddamn crazy ass convention, because we're stuck on Biden. He's got to stop this bleeding, and only a leader can do that. And he is a leader, and he's got to come to that, because I really think that they're shielding him from a lot of these numbers. I don't think they're just really telling him, like, we lose, like, we down 5 points in Arizona right now. I know polls don't mean nothing, but you don't want ever a poll to be like 5 fucking points.
They do something, but when they're consistent, and when they're always consistent, they mean something. Now people can point back and say, this time 8 years ago, that Hillary Clinton was dominating every poll, and that meant nothing. But again, like you said earlier, we're in different times now. Everything's different. It's a different time that we're living in now. So it's difficult to kind of compare the two. I don't know if you heard the report, Nancy Pelosi, when she actually was sitting down with Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi is definitely one person you just don't fuck with. And she loves Joe Biden. And he was telling her that we have internal polling that looks good for us. And instead of accepting that, she said, really? Get your pollster on the phone. Let's go over those numbers right now. I want to see those numbers that you're talking about. And,
because she's real. She's real, because their polling is, they're seeing something. They're seeing, and I don't even think that they're afraid of, like, the voters turning on him. They're afraid of the turnout.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the problem at this point. Like I said, that sucks. Joe Biden has done a phenomenal job. I still think he could do the job, because, like I said before, there is a time bomb in this country that can go off, and metaphorically, Joe Biden can defuse that bomb, I still believe. But people are acting like we're asking Joe Biden to go in and defuse the bomb literally. Like he'd be the only person, and Joe Biden would be the last person I'd want to go and try to defuse a bomb literally. But metaphorically, I still think he could do it. But based on, everything that's been going on, I think at some point we do have to move on. So let's say we do move on. Kamala Harris is first of all, does Joe Biden step down and allow her to take over presidential duties, so that way she could get a sort of a head start? She could be the incumbent and play off of that, or does he finish out his term? And the next question is who would be her vice president?
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro would be, I think, a fantastic choice. Now, anybody that says Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom, they have already come out publicly and said that they would not take that job anyway, which is a smart. I mean, I think, just like to your point, Lana, that you said last week, that Kamala, she's kind of being forced into this. So she loses, what's her political future? And, I think they might be thinking the same thing. Like, I can't be forced into this right now. You're basically giving me a couple months to get people to know who I am. At least people know who Kamala Harris is. They know who she is. But as much as we know Gavin Newsom, and as much as we know Gretchen Whitmer,
choice. That is illogical.
Gavin California.
Newsom, it's
we
illogical.
Don't need California.
Exactly. No one knows him, and he's in California. So what? Gretchen, 2 women, like someone said Pete Buttigieg today. I'm like, are y'all fucking crazy? A woman of color and a gay man. Like, stop playing.
But look at, I mean, you got a woman of color and a gay man, or you've got 2 women, or you've got two black people, or
you're
you've
not
got a
giving
black
me
person
that.
and a Jewish person with Josh Shapiro. So I
Right,
mean,
but no one see the thing about the Jewish person is no one see that because that guess what? You
no,
said it. I was like, oh shoot, that's right. Right? I think that's not a
no.
that's not a
But
that can't
Lana,
happen thing. He's
with the
white.
media the way it is nowadays, even though you don't recognize it right off the bat because you know what's going to happen to Kamala. You know what's going to happen to her. So if they're going to do it to her, they're going to do it to Josh Shapiro
But that's
too.
okay. We come on, man. Oh, dude, that's your Joe Biden. Come on, man.
Come on, man. We're your aviators.
That's a win, fucking win.
Yeah.
Donald, I guarantee you, the Republican Party's like this. Joe, stay. They want him to stay because
Yeah.
the chance is greater. Can Joe win? Yep.
Mhm.
But the Republicans have a greater chance at beating him. Like they still can beat Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Kamala, if you really think about it, how do they attack her?
Right.
She's a DEI hire.
Well, they'll definitely say that because they've said it
No,
already.
we want them to.
Yeah,
Because
right.
now the independents are going to be like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Right?
Yep.
Now maybe black men would be like, what? Wait, hold on now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is just going to make the fucking base and make our case. Like, she almost is like, they're going to make her case for them. They're
Mhm.
going to be fucking pigs, misogynists, racists, bigots, Josh Shapiro. Like, it's all of it combined. And she's just going to be able to, like, keep prosecuting it.
Well, that's her
Kind of a
profession is to
win.
prosecute. And again, she will eat Donald Trump. I don't even know if Donald Trump debates her, but
No, he's not. He would never.
I think
Ow.
he could be goaded into it. I think she would
Maybe.
shame him
Yeah.
into it, and so would the
Mhm.
media.
She would.
And I think he would probably take the challenge because he never wants to be seen as weak.
Mhm. Mhm. Especially
So
to a black woman.
and you know what else too, Lana? That might break debate records
It would.
if those two
Absolutely
debated.
would.
Because Donald Trump, well, no, that's not true. I was going to say, because Joe Biden's not the greatest debater, even though he beat him I still say all three debates. He beat him in 2020. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Joe
Yeah.
Biden just on substance of,
Yeah.
and not telling lie after lie after lie after lie after lie.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, if you want to give Donald Trump the congeniality award or the participation award or the,
Right.
appearance award,
Right.
fine. But just based on the words, Joe Biden won the debate.
Right.
Hillary Clinton, I mean, absolutely. I mean, she beat him in both debates, but Donald Trump was able to put in those little digs that
Right.
everybody loves to hear about Hillary Clinton.
Right.
And, that really hit her. But how is he going to be able to handle Kamala in a couple ways? A, like you were saying, going to attack her womanhood, going to attack her color, her ethnicity. Is that what he's going to do?
Right.
And he steps slower. And
Yeah.
she is a professional prosecutor.
Yeah.
And she has been preparing for something like this.
Biden couldn't even talk about all of Trump's cases, right? He couldn't do it. Again,
I know.
still love Biden, but just again, it's the intervention thing, right? Because we love the person, because we loved my uncle, it was so hard to get him to a place where we, the family, all agree, like, yo, we gotta talk to Uncle Nick. We gotta get him here. We gotta stop this. Someone has got to do something. It's almost like taking the keys from an old person too. Like you just hate to do it.
Yeah, telling them that they got to go to the old person's home.
Right, because
yeah.
right, because we're feeling bad about it. And I think us as Democrats, we just really feel bad. And again, it was me too. Up until yesterday. I was feeling the fucking same thing. But then when I did introspection, I'm like, why am I feeling like this? Like, what is this? Is it because of I know how it feels on the side? Like I don't know, but we got to be real. Like he's not.
I think every bit of it's coming from a good place, and every bit of it
Yeah.
is coming from, this is our future. This isn't
Yeah.
this isn't, like our favorite team winning the Super Bowl, although I might take that just as seriously, but not as, but very close. But it's, it is, this is the, again, it sounds cliche, but this is by far the most important election in the
Oh,
history of
way
this
far.
country. It's
Oh,
not
way
even
far.
close.
Yeah.
And I think what we're feeling and what you're feeling and what you have, not really opened my eyes to. I mean, I saw it. I just kind of didn't want to accept it. I don't, and I still kind of don't. But at the end of the day, if there is clear evidence, you also hear these people coming out saying, he's just not the same guy. I've been around him and he's not the same guy. One guy, I think, I can't remember his name, but he came out recently and just said he didn't even recognize me when he saw me.
Yeah.
And if that is really true, and I can't imagine they'd lie about it. I can't imagine George Clooney, which I wasn't a fan of him just right, but maybe he's doing
I
it
mean, I still
for,
ain't, but I
when
get
he
it.
says, I saw him and he just wasn't Joe. And, when you saw Obama leading him off the stage, you can kind of go, oh, that's just the right wing propaganda media. But I mean, if you do look at it, he did look a little bit off. And even if there was nothing to it, the fact that people just can use that and
Right.
bomb him with that constantly. And now, because of
Right.
that fucking debate,
Right.
every goddamn word that
Everything.
comes out of his
Right.
mouth is
Right.
going to be scrutinized, but
Right.
zero scrutiny with
And
Donald
it's
Trump.
and it's
Zero.
right. And the what's worse is that it's almost like he probably should step down just so he can go relax and rest, because at this point he's not doing anything right now because he's sick. So when he comes back, he's got to ramp it up like even
Right,
more.
right.
And he's got
Get
to
sick again.
he's going to get sick again. And that had been concerning to me because every time you see him, he was coughing because he's doing so much traveling and so much talking. So that's just really taking a toll. And again, it doesn't mean he can't do the job because we talked about he got to do a sign a goddamn pen. Give me the freaking bill that I need to sign, and I'll just sign it.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought.
No, I was saying, I mean, because there's definitely a different thought process, because we could play our show back just 48 hours ago or 72 hours ago when it was a different tune. But, when the news progresses, I guess we have to sort of progress with it. But, I don't think that the news is leading us here. I
No.
think, in this particular instance that, you do have to take, because I've said before, I don't watch CNN and MSNBC because I think they lie to me. I don't think that they're lying when they report. I just think it's sensationalized, over opinionated, that I think could be misleading at times. But when you have so many people and you hear the Nancy Pelosi's and you hear the people closest to him, I think you brought up the point. We're not, if Obama came out and said, hey, cut the shit, but we're not hearing from him.
But that means that he wants him to drop out.
Right. That's what I mean. Is like, if
Yeah.
we're not hearing from
Yeah.
Obama, then, defending Joe Biden, then there's got to be something there. I
That
did
means he's
see.
called him. He has called him, right? Because
Yeah.
I also hear, and again, we don't know these people and we don't know their relationships. So to be on Twitter and social media calling them backstabbers and getting angry at Nancy Pelosi and saying we're not going to vote for these people anymore is absolutely ridiculous, because one, a lot of these, they're afraid for their seats.
Yeah.
We need the Senate and the Congress, or we can't even put guardrails if Biden did lose. So I get it. But
you even have ones in the seats that are not real. I mean, Adam Schiff's not losing.
Well, no, but see, Schiff was sent there by Pelosi.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why and if he agreed to do it, he saw something too.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, is that,
Yeah.
even the ones who are not afraid to lose their seats are saying something. And I know people would say, well, they're not afraid to lose, but I just don't. If you're not afraid to lose your seat, why would you, why would you put not even a target on them, because they're still not going to lose, but why would you want part of the party that loves Biden to come out and hate you?
And that's a great point, right? Like there's something there that they're seeing. And it's almost like, for instance, it's like you see it coming, but people loyal to Biden and Biden saying, no, we can get back on track. We can get it going. But what if it continues to slide? Because at some point, you're going to be at a point in that slide where you can't bring it back. And I think that's what Pelosi and Jeffries and Schiff, they're trying to do. Like, okay, we see it slipping. We're trying to catch it before it slips to the point of no return. Because if we say we're all on board and let it keep going, and then all of a sudden the bottom falls out, then what do we do now?
Yeah, Biden's got to be like literally at 100% between now and the election. Because let's say he starts turning the ship around and we get to September. And in September, he completely forgets something in his speech, or they do another debate and he completely fucks up again. Now there's no turning back. We're shot and we're done.
Yes. Absolutely. And that is why we know that there's going to be more. And as the time goes on, there's going to be like over half. If he's still in this thing by Wednesday of next week, over half of Congress, Democrats, are going to be like, you got to go. Like they're going, more of them. And it's like, because at what point does he swallow his pride? Right? Yeah. Because you can't be a leader and still say, I'm the only one that can do this. Yeah. You can't, because now I'm looking at you upside your head like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You pick Kamala as your VP. You don't think she's capable of doing this?
No.
Like, why not give it to her? Like, pass the baton and be like, yo, go, Kamala, go. I got you.
Yeah, I don't think he's holding off because he doesn't think Kamala can't do it. In fact, there were
reports. I'm saying it will appear like that,
right?
Yeah. It goes.
And there were reports where and who knows if these are even true or not anymore, but one of the reports is that he went from saying, Kamala can't win, and then it was, can she win? And he leaving the impression that he was open to stepping aside for her. So I don't know. It's just it's heartbreaking to me, because I think he's just a really good man. I think he's done such a phenomenal job for this country. I hate seeing the ugly vitriol towards this man, and I don't even want to see.
Where's the vitriol? Where's the vitriol coming from?
Well, I mean, obviously from the right, and and this just to even. They're going to treat this as a victory by knocking him out, which I don't think.
The Democrats?
No. The right, the MAGA right, and all them assholes.
But they won't. But okay, maybe publicly they're going to be like, oh, he's old, whatever. But they don't want him out. They won't have anyone to be like, he's old and frail and dementia. If it's complicated, that argument's done.
Yeah.
And now who's old and frail and dementia?
Right.
Now the Dems got that and can hit them constantly with it.
Because, I mean, you're right, Lana, because what is the only reason why people are saying they can't vote for Joe Biden? Because he's old and he's got dementia.
Right. Now
he's no longer there.
Right.
Right. That argument no longer applies.
It no longer applies. It applies to that guy.
Right.
It applies to that guy now.
Right. That's I mean, you're exactly right. But I did see, did you ever see the movie Wolf of Wall Street?
I saw like somebody posted something. I didn't get it.
I have to play
look
this,
it up.
This is what I
have it.
This is actually hilarious. I saw it. I was like, this is what I kind of want Joe Biden to do this, but it's on.
Someone said that too. Good.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. home. They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here. They're gonna need to send in the National Guard or fucking SWAT team, because I ain't going nowhere.
All right, great movie, by the way.
That would work if he had that kind of energy.
Now, if Joe Biden could do that, if he literally did that,
Yeah,
I'd be
we
like,
would all be
I'm
in.
standing in line right fucking now. I'm putting a tent up until it's November, and I'm just staying there because I can't wait. But I
It's
found that pretty funny.
unfortunate.
is.
It's just really unfortunate. I hate that I have to say this. I try not to say it too much. I only say it to the members in the group, but I don't really tweet about it. But I want.
I got this is giving me a feeling as when the Celtics traded Marcus Smart. It was the most heartbreaking thing.
I mean, you know what? We
Ever.
have to make, we got to make bad decisions, man. Like, politics is not easy. It is a chess game. Like,
Mhm.
we're not in it to not hurt people's feelings. Like, we'd
Right.
fucking be
No,
losing
you're
if we
right.
were doing shit like that. Like,
Well, look what happened when they traded Marcus Smart. They went on and won a fucking NBA
yeah,
championship.
right, exactly. So,
They had to make a tough move, but they did it, and now they're champs.
yeah,
And I think that's what
yeah,
we need to see here.
yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
It-
Anyway, I know everybody doesn't know who Marcus Smart is. He was a former Boston Celtic. Lana and I are big
Oh,
Celtics fans.
sorry.
And Marcus Smart was one of my favorite players of all time for the ball. I love that guy. Loved him, and when they traded him, it was heartbreaking.
Well, I could go back further because I hate it when they traded Cedric Maxwell, but that's me.
Corn Pepper, yeah, there's no question. That was awful.
I was so upset.
But we could turn this into a Celtics podcast if you want, but because I'm still on high from them winning. But okay, so let's move on to the clown show that was the RNC convention. As I said, I watched 0 seconds of it. People are like, you watch 0 seconds of it and you're judging it. That is correct. I did
Yep.
not need to see 1 second of that fucking clown show to know that it was a clown show, but I
Yep.
did see enough clips. Lincoln Project did a great job of stringing together day 4, the last day of the convention. I was looking for separate clips, and then I saw this one. I was like, you know what? Let's just play the montage of cringe-worthy goofiness that went on with these clowns. This was the very last day and the day that Donald Trump spoke.
Was enough, and I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again.
I gotta say, as a kid growing up, I was a Hulkamaniac.
Who wasn't?
I was a
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah.
And then you start to realize that these guys are actual human beings
Yeah.
and they have human flaws, and he had plenty of them. He was actually banned from the World Wrestling Entertainment. He was taken out of their Hall of Fame because he was caught on tape using the N-word. And then, of course, subsequently, they just put him right back in.
But he's right there.
Hey, yep. So, and welcome back to the WWE, who is run by Vince McMahon. And if you don't know Vince McMahon's story, I would suggest that you Google that. And if you really didn't know him or didn't detest him before, you would detest him now after reading his latest story. But let's get back to this dumb shit.
One hell of a golfer.
One heck of a golf swing.
Yikes.
21 club championships.
The funniest person I've ever met in my life.
Tore up the dance floor until 3 a.m. with his signature moves.
That's
You
not a
guys know
dance,
those
by the
moves.
way.
Donald Dick J. Trump.
Donald
Oops.
J.
Dick
Trump.
Trump?
And he said, I understand, Your Excellency. He called me Your Excellency.
He's
We
talking
go
about the
back
Taliban.
to Germany from 100 years ago.
Right. Cringe. Well,
Look at my, look, she looks like
Sometimes
she
referred to
wants
as Bob.
to be
There were
like,
people's
I
heads
want to
being
leave.
cut off.
how much did Trump have to pay her to be there?
Oh my, can you just go back to her?
I sure
face?
can. She was like, oh my God, I have to pretend like this is fucking cool.
Sometimes referred to as Bob.
There were people's heads being cut off at the beaches. We destroyed ISIS.
The late, great
Jesus.
Hannibal Lecter.
You'll never
Oh,
hear me
wait.
say I'm on God's.
She's
We
like,
destroyed ISIS.
Hannibal Lecter.
You'll never hear me say I'm on God's side.
I'm sorry. The other thing too is, I know we gotta say, I'm not happy that somebody tried to shoot at Donald Trump and kill him, but that thing on his ear, and then looking at all those other dipshits in that crowd wearing the thing on their ear in unison.
That they probably bought those there for $50.
100%. There is absolutely no question about it. It is so sad. And I thought to myself, I was like, let's take a couple of the most popular presidents that we've had in our lifetime, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, and something like that happened. Would that crowd do anything similar? And it's possible, right? Would they do something similar for them?
Okay, so number one, Barack Obama would not have a fucking maxi
That is
pad
very
on
true.
his ear.
Very true.
That
And you know what? Neither
thing-
would Bill Clinton.
Exactly. That it's an ear. It's not still bleeding. He's like, oh, it bleeds. Somebody told me the ear bleeds the most. It's like, no.
Who would have thought? The ear. It's the ear that bleeds the most.
I have like 5 piercings in each ear. I don't remember me bleeding to death. It's like, you get more blood with a nosebleed, dude. Like, what the
Right. You know what you remind me of? I asked you this before. You watch The Office. There was an episode where Michael Scott quit, and he thought it was, so he wanted to tell his quit story, and he had everybody in the office surrounding him, and he kept extending the story, and then you see a cutaway to Pam, and she's like, he's got a great story and he knows it, and now he's just gonna they are all just like, get on with this story, and he's gonna Michael Scott this thing till he's dead.
like, he didn't get stitches. Why does he still have a Band-Aid on? He didn't get stitches. If it was bleeding that much, you would have stitches. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
By the way, let's finish this up, but I also want to get into Baby Juggernaut's with us. Diapers and ear pads, right? Right. That's, you remember there was a thing where they were wearing diapers and saying diapers were cool or some weird shit like that, because there was reports Donald Trump wore diapers. I don't know what the fuck goes on with these people, but I do want to talk about, where is the the media is always asking for Biden's medical report.
Exactly.
Where is Donald Trump was fucking shot at, and you're going to tell me we're just going to ignore this? But let's just get this out of the way and finish it. This guy, this fucking Tucker Carlson, listen to this laugh.
Or God's with me, or even I'm with God.
Why would you allow Donald Trump to come into your church?
Be excited. Be excited.
Susie, it's Donald Trump.
He looked at me with a wistful smile.
That lady was Linda McMahon, by the way. That's Vince McMahon's wife.
Oh, Mrs.
Blowing a
Racist. Nice to
kiss.
meet you.
Right.
I just had a flashback, man. This is really tripping.
107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens.
They literally let Navarro out of prison.
Because the only crime President Trump has committed is loving America.
What you gonna do
Why is that a crime?
when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs
Oh,
run
boy.
wild on you, brother?
Just die. Rough. Peanuts. Hello. We're going to get to the cure for cancer.
This is the most responsible, unifying behavior of
Lana,
I think I've ever seen.
Fight.
you're being they're chanting fight. Lana, see, you can see that Lana is being sensitive to the.
What'd you say? I just got my ears pierced.
I mean,
It's bleeding
some
like
people are
crazy.
oh shit! I forgot to wear my ear thing. Somebody cut up a piece of paper and I'll give me a piece of tape
So
so
much
I can.
blood. So much blood.
Why can't we see the? Did you see the videos on Twitter? Oh, there was a guy wearing a big maxi pad on the side of his head. And
Oh, what year was it again?
it was the right ear, I think, right? But yeah, why can't we see the ear? That is a great question. I would love to know whether or not any piece of his ear, because I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine the other day. I said, I don't care what you say. Nobody's convincing me until a doctor comes out and says that this man was struck by a fucking bullet. There's no way that a AR-15 bullet went by his head, grazed his ear, and just a little nick. I'm sorry, there's just no way.
Right.
There's no way. Unless
Right.
a doctor tells me or somehow they can convince me that I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'll say I'm not a ballistic expert. But
And the other piece is Trump is a showman.
right.
If Trump got hit with a bullet in his ear, the treating doctors, he would have paraded them in front of the TV and had them talk about his injury. But because he didn't do that, that means that he went in there and they were like, oh no, some shards of glass. Let us clean it out for you.
Yeah.
No stitches needed, and go home.
They asked Eric, I believe, was his ear okay? He's like, yeah, it was just a little tiny, or he didn't say it was a big deal, or he didn't say part of his ear came off, or
it was one of them. Either Junior or Eric said he did not get stitches. If he didn't get stitches, why would it be bleeding a week later?
Yeah, right. And right, exactly.
Or at all.
Right.
It's not bleeding.
Yeah, at this point, the blood has stopped. I'm not really sure what he's hiding, just like he's hiding it.
Brian, he spoke for 92 minutes without having to change his Band-Aid.
Right. I mean, again, you're right. So the showman couldn't bring out his doctor's report. He couldn't bring out anything. So what did he have to do? The showman still had to put something on his ear so people are like, we're now reminded of the heroic.
Right.
And again, this idea that he's heroic and wanting to throw up in your mouth when I hear of somebody like Van Jones saying,
oh, hold on a minute.
Yep.
Oh, I don't get either one. If you want to go on, I'm good, because we're gonna wrap it. How much longer we got?
Whenever you're ready.
It's up to you. If you want to do it tonight, you can do it tonight and get it out the way.
Do it tonight. Just get it out of the way.
That's hilarious.
Make it easy. Just think about tomorrow morning and you're like, God damn, thank God I did that shit last night.
Right. Thank God I did.
I don't even know what we're talking about. But, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'd like to see the doctor report on here and then go from there. But one other clip too I found pretty funny from last night's little thing. We saw a clip of Melania, and Melania, everybody's asking, where is she? Which, that's another thing. Why is the media not all over this? If Jill were missing at every single one of Joe's events, you're telling me there wouldn't be story after story after story about Jill Biden missing?
Right.
I mean, Melania didn't show up to any of his court cases. Melania did not show up to any of his rallies. Melania shows up to literally almost nothing. When she was there last night, she met Donald Trump up on the stage, and this was their very awkward interaction.
I didn't see this.
Extra side kiss.
Oh,
I think he even tried to lean in for a lip kiss, and she said, no, you did not pay for that.
That was hilarious. He tried to get a kiss on the mouth, and she extended her cheekbone. She's like, good thing these things are high. And she was just like,
yeah.
Wow.
Johnny,
he tried it.
It's hilarious. I mean, he tried to do the same, and then she kind of was going to do the side kiss on his cheek, and then even did a little extra, like, no, just do the fuck whatever it is you got to do, and let's get the fuck
let's
out
get
of
off
here.
the stage. She's like,
Yeah, this is awful. I'm going back to my house. You fly the fuck back to Mar-a-Lago. Johnny Freedom has a comment here. It says, where are all your viewers? You have over 5,000 followers, and all of them are bots, clearly. Lana, you're a follower of mine. You're not a bot. I also have Stella Parton as a follower, and she certainly isn't a bot. I'm assuming Johnny Freedom is trying to say something
he sounds like a
derogatory, but there's absolutely nothing about what Johnny Freedom has to say that bothered me. If you'd like to join in the conversation on something that is of relevance, I'm happy to address that. MAGA paying her $18,000 a month for hair and makeup. Yeah, that's certainly another thing. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting weekend, Lana. Let's we can wrap up now, but what do you see happening over the next few days?
I hope there's more focus since Johnny Freedom's here. He may want us to talk about Donald Trump and his ranting lunatic.
Just so you know, I don't know if you don't mind, but Lana's got like 80,000 followers.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about, because we didn't talk about it. And it's funny because did you see Josh, what is his name? Josh Sabaroff? His video, I want you to play this. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
Just for the end, I'm gonna send it via DM.
Okay.
Because it's important to know. Even his supporters were falling asleep during that. Like, he spent 20 minutes acting like he wanted to unite, and then he went on his KKK rally tyrant about nothing. I don't even think he's seen Silence of the Lamb. Like, I swear to God, he didn't see it.
Well,
he doesn't know who Hannibal Lecter is.
I mean, you're in a convention speech, right?
Yeah.
Think about all the people who ever ran for president. This guy is up on stage where all these networks are covering you, and you could say whatever you want to the American people.
Yeah.
And you're going into a story about, first of all, a fictional character, B, somebody he's calling late great. From my understanding,
late great Hannibal Lecter.
First of all, I'm not sure anybody's calling Hannibal Lecter great, but he's also not late as far as I know. In the series of books, he's still alive. He's not dead. And it's my assumption when you call somebody late, you're calling them dead, right?
Well, we're talking about Trump.
But exactly. So this is him at a convention speech, and people are watching this and going, I can't wait to vote for this guy.
Right. Isn't that crazy? He didn't even know where he was last
Idiocracy?
night. Low energy.
Yeah.
And the sharks and the boats. And we're going to get rid of the illegals because there's 11. Here's a hilarious thing. He's saying every single illegal alien is killing and raping and murdering.
107% are taking the jobs too, as we saw.
A white Republican tried to assassinate him. He wasn't an immigrant.
We don't see the irony there. I mean, nobody sees I shouldn't say nobody. Nobody on the MAGA side sees the irony there.
Johnny doesn't see it.
Johnny does. Maybe Johnny does. Maybe Johnny.
No, Johnny don't see it.
I don't know. Johnny, you want to speak up on that? Do you see the irony there? That a white Republican MAGA person tried to murder your orange hero? Like I said, nothing is making sense. And the fact that anybody you talk about throwing up in your mouth too again. Did you see what Elon Musk did on Twitter? That if you did the hashtag MAGA, you didn't see that?
I wouldn't want to, but he did.
If you hashtag MAGA now, when you hashtag it, I'll go back. So if I hashtag different here, the Celtics logo pops up next to it. Or if I, same thing with LGM, Let's Go Mets, the Mets logo. Mm-hmm. A little logo comes up next to it with Donald Trump's fist in the air.
And that's another thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Every time he raises that fist, it makes me want to vomit because the media somehow thinks that it's his signature move. Newsflash is not his fucking signature move. It means fucking black power at a time when black people were oppressed. So him taking it, he's friggin' appropriating a fucking fist. Like he is the colonizer. He is not the oppressed. He should stick with his fucking stick with that shit because that is his. Like, the nerve of him. Like, what the hell? That fucking corny ass, slow ass motherfucker. There, Johnny. He sucks. He was low energy, falling asleep, napkin falling off of his ear, sweating like a pig.
He was falling. You're right. He fell asleep a few times during that whole convention. He fell asleep during the time Don Jr. was talking, which was fucking hilarious.
Like, please stop telling us, try to gaslight somebody like, oh, Trump danced until 3 a.m. The fuck he didn't. He didn't even dance. Like, shut up. We
like Baby
know
Juggernaut
better.
said too, threatening 11 million to be deported.
Exactly. Fucking look at Josh. If you can play that video, it's such a good video because it's so weird. And then JD, and he called JD Vance JD Mandel, but no one's talking about that. He doesn't even know his vice president.
I've said this before. This guy does not give a flying fuck about anybody. He literally does not. All right, so let me see. Let me see how I can. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share this
How
screen.
do you call your vice president somebody else's name, or like don't even know their name? Like, how does that happen?
Most normal people can't do that. That guy.
How does that happen, Johnny Freedom?
I'm telling you, he does not care. He cares about nothing. And the other thing too, before I play this idea that God intervened to stop the fucking bullet. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, okay, rapist.
Oh my God. I mean, but again, so the God intervened to stop the bullet, but he directed it towards a father of a daughter and had him killed. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you explain that? You know what? Don't explain it. I don't even want to hear what the explanation would be because it would be so fucking irritating.
It's disgusting. You see the picture of him kissing the fire, fighting. Like, what the fuck?
It's unreal. I was just trying to act like this motherfucker is Jules from Pulp Fiction and was shot at and they missed him and now he's quoting Bible verses left and right. Get the fuck out of here. All right, let me play what you had here. Did you see Pulp Fiction, Lana?
Okay. Yeah.
Great movie. All right. Tell me if you could see this screen.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Jacob, I'm glad to see you won that fight. Oh, yeah.
Not quite, Rachel. You can see former President Trump, JD Vance, right here. I have to tell you, Rachel, it's an almost unspeakable feeling to be in a room that's such a celebratory nature and hear the man behind me talk about deporting more people than President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1954, an operation with a name so racist that it's not appropriate to say on television. He's talking about removing more than 10 million people from this country who have been here, many of them since they were little children, contribute to this society, contribute to this economy, live in all of our neighborhoods and communities. And now we're throwing balloons around as if this is a party. He talked about the Democrats, again, cheating. Cheat was the word he used in the last election after saying he was here to unify the nation. And it's a bizarre feeling that I'm not sure I'm able to fully articulate right now. They're painting it as a party, but it is a deeply divisive message. Any way you want to look at it, you can put the unity bumper sticker all over it. But what we heard tonight was not a message of bringing people together. It was a message of literally kicking millions of people out of the country.
Jacob, he literally talked about how he would empty out the whole country. He talked and fantasized about being the head of other countries as well, and how he would empty them out. Thank you, Jacob. I'm not going to make you back and forth with me too much, because I know you are in a loud spot from where you are. But thank you for that, from right next to the stage.
Yeah, that's good work right there. I mean, just laying it out. But you're supposed to in the media when you're, again, this isn't being biased. This is him saying, and it's okay to call out the lies in the media. It is okay to say, look, this is dangerous. We don't have to both sides this thing, you know, and they kind of used to do that, but they did it, back then when now there's this stink on the media that they're being biased towards that. So they've almost sort of put themselves in a corner, like, gosh, now we really can't say anything bad about Donald Trump because he's convinced all these people that we're unfair to him, but we're only fair to the left. And, I don't know. But that was good stuff.
Yeah, at least it was honest. He's at low IQ screen, but he's here.
What is he talking about? Us?
Yeah, of course he is. The trolls are here because Johnny probably, the incels need to call their little incel buddies, and then they have to come in.
Well, first of all, this guy's logo is Bitcoin. Yeah. So, who even knows if these people are real? Look,
exactly.
You know what? In crypto and Johnny Freedom, I'm glad that you joined the show. I would welcome you back anytime. Please like and subscribe if you don't mind, and share the video. You can share it and say, look at these two fucking idiots. They are stupid. They're not, they have low IQ, as in crypto says. And we don't mind sharing the videos. What did he make a decision? Is he doing it tonight? Now this is the only thing I care about. This is the only thing I care. Now this is how we're going to end the show, because it was kind of like a storyline of the show. Okay. Is he going to do it tonight, or is he not going to do it? We're getting close to the end. We got to know the answer.
You almost had me.
He said you almost had him. He's going to work on the house.
Damn it. All right. Well, you know what? Sounds like a smart guy. He looks like he can probably figure out on his own what he's going to do and how he wants to do it. So, Juana, again, we're heading into the weekend here. I think that's what you said you would play this video. And as we were wrapping up here, what do we see? Do we see the end of Joe Biden by the end of the weekend or no?
I'm hoping by Monday. They have to do a count next week, right? The count's next week. Or whatever the count is, a roll call or whatever they're doing.
Didn't they extend that though? I thought they extended it.
Isn't that next week? Something is next week.
I thought something was August 1st, but they extended
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. There's something else that is next week that they kept saying that.
Look, if our IQ is a little higher, we probably know this stuff.
That's true. Low IQ. Yeah, something is next week. I'm not sure. I'll look that up and DM you what it is. But there is a deadline next week. It's not the delegate whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. But
we'll know it on our next
hopefully by Monday.
That's the question. How about this? On Black and White live at 8:00 on Tuesday night. Are we going to know whether or not Joe Biden is staying in this race, or first of all, if he says he's staying in the race and even on our show on Tuesday, my guess is there's still going to be speculation that he's going to drop out at some point. But the question is, let's ask this. By our show Tuesday night, 8:00, will Joe Biden have announced that he will no longer be the nominee? Yes or no?
I can't say that until I know when that deadline. It's going to be before that deadline. Whatever that date is for the deadline, I think it's going to be right before that next week.
How about this?
By Wednesday.
Just say yes or no, and
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Because we need something to play off on the next show. Speaking of the next show, we will be there Tuesday night at 8:00. Normally we don't do this on Friday nights, but
Hey,
there's just so much
are you
going
leaving?
on.
Oh, okay. I gotta end it because my kid's about to leave, so I gotta say goodbye.
Lana's getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. Tuesday night, Black and White. Brian Rundle, Lana Quest, join us, please.
Sorry, I gotta rush out.
He's got to rush out. I'm rushing out too. Good night, everybody. Thank you,
All right.
everybody,
Good
for
night,
joining,
Brian.
even in crypto and Johnny Freedom. Good
Yeah.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, baby.